We live in a world obsessed with comfort, where sitting has become the default position for much of our waking hours. From our desks at work to our couches at home, we're constantly glued to our chairs, often without realizing the potential harm it's inflicting on our bodies. This isn't about demonizing relaxation, it's about recognizing that the modern lifestyle has us sitting more than ever before, and our bodies simply weren't designed for it. We celebrate milestones in our fitness trackers, but what about the hours spent glued to our seats? Our bodies are made for movement, designed to thrive on activity. Yet here we are, spending the majority of our day in a posture that restricts blood flow, weakens muscles, and messes with our metabolism. Think about it. Our ancestors were constantly on the move, hunting, gathering, and generally living far more active lives than we can even imagine. It's about understanding the mismatch between our evolutionary programming and our modern habits. We need to start seeing chairs as tools, not life rafts. Our bodies are sending us a message, and it's time we started listening. Sitting for hours on end isn't just bad for your posture. It's like inviting a whole army of health problems to take up residence in your body. We're talking heart disease, diabetes, some types of cancer, the heavy hitters. Scientists call it the sitting disease, but let's be real, it's more like a slow, sneaky invasion of your well-being. That sluggish circulation is a recipe for trouble, allowing fatty deposits to build up in your arteries. Not exactly the kind of home renovation you want happening internally. Excessive sitting messes with your body's ability to regulate blood sugar, which increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Let's face it, your heart deserves a little more respect than hours of Netflix binging can offer. When you sit for prolonged periods, your heart rate slows down, and your blood vessels become less efficient at pumping that life-giving juice throughout your body. This reduced blood flow doesn't just affect your heart, it impacts every single cell in your body. Your muscles don't get the oxygen they need, your brain gets foggy, and your energy levels plummet. Think about it, we celebrate athletes who push their bodies to the limit, but what about celebrating our own ability to move freely and keep our hearts happy? Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the expanding waistline on the couch. Sitting burns minimal calories, which means if you're spending most of your day glued to a chair, you're basically telling your metabolism to take a very long nap. But it's not just about the number on the scale. Excess weight, particularly around the midsection, is a major risk factor for a whole host of health problems, including heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Now, we're not saying you need to become a marathon runner overnight. Even small increases in activity, like taking the stairs instead of the elevator or going for a walk during your lunch break, can make a big difference in the long run.
Meet Joe, a living, breathing example of what happens when you prioritize spreadsheets over spinal health. Joe, a self-proclaimed desk jockey, spent years hunched over his computer, convinced that deadlines were more important than proper posture. Years of sedentary neglect had transformed Joe's once proud posture into a cautionary tale. His lower back screamed in protest with every movement, and even the simple act of tying his shoes became an Olympic event. Joe, realizing that his chair had become his worst enemy, decided to make a change. He invested in a standing desk, started taking regular walking breaks, and even convinced his colleagues to join him for walking meetings.
We've talked about the havoc sitting wreaks on your physical health, but brace yourselves, folks, because it gets worse. Turns out our brains aren't too fond of the chair potato lifestyle either. Remember that sluggish blood flow we discussed? Yeah, well, it's not just your heart and muscles that suffer. Your brain takes a hit too. When we sit for hours on end, we're essentially putting our brains on a starvation diet. They don't get the fuel they need to function optimally, leading to brain fog, decreased focus, and a serious case of the blahs. Movement is like hitting the refresh button on your mental hard drive, allowing you to think clearer, process information faster, and tap into your creative genius. Let's be real, stress and anxiety are as much a part of modern life as scrolling through social media. And while we can't always control the stresses in our lives, we can control how we respond to them. This is where movement becomes our secret weapon. Exercise is like a magic elixir that helps regulate our stress hormones, leaving us feeling calmer, more centered, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. Movement, on the other hand, is like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. So, the next time you're feeling the pressure cooker of life getting to you, ditch the chair and get moving. Your brain will thank you.
Meet Linda, a self-proclaimed workaholic who wore her busy badge with a mixture of pride and exhaustion. Linda, a master multitasker, could answer emails, schedule meetings, and churn out reports, all while glued to her office chair. But behind her facade of productivity, Linda was fighting a losing battle with stress and anxiety. Her days blurred into a monotonous cycle of deadlines, conference calls, and takeout dinners, eaten hastily at her desk. She started small, a 20-minute walk during her lunch break, a few yoga classes a week, and slowly began to reclaim her mental clarity and peace of mind. Linda knew something had to change.
Remember the pure joy of recess as a kid? The freedom to run around, play tag, and let your imagination run wild? Turns out our adult brains crave that same sense of playfulness and movement. But somewhere along the way, we traded in our jump ropes and monkey bars for spreadsheets and conference calls. In fact, incorporating elements of play into our adult lives can have a profound impact on our mental well-being, boosting creativity, reducing stress, and improving focus. Think about it. When we engage in playful activities, we tap into a different part of our brain, the part associated with joy, spontaneity, and creativity. So, go ahead, embrace your inner child. Take a dance break, try a new sport, or simply spend some time in nature. Your brain will thank you. Okay, so we've established that sitting all day is about as good for you as a diet of donuts and energy drinks. But before you ditch your desk chair and start doing parkour in the office hallway, tempting we know, let's talk about some simple, sustainable ways to sneak more movement into your day. We're not talking about marathon training or CrossFit craziness here, just small tweaks that can make a big difference. First up, become the master of the micro break. Set a timer on your phone to go off every hour, reminding you to stand up, stretch, and move around for a few minutes. Think of it as a mini vacation for your body and mind. Walk to the water cooler, do some desk stretches, or even just stand up and reach for the sky. Anything to break up the monotony of sitting. Remember Joe, our back pain warrior from earlier? Well, his secret weapon wasn't just willpower and a healthy fear of chiropractors, it was the standing desk. Now, before you picture yourself perched precariously on a stack of textbooks, let's clarify, standing desks have come a long way, baby. These days, you can find standing desks in all shapes, sizes, and price ranges, from sleek adjustable models to DIY hacks that won't break the bank. The beauty of a standing desk is that it allows you to seamlessly transition between sitting and standing throughout the day, so you get the best of both worlds. But the benefits go beyond just giving your backside a break. Studies have shown that standing desks can help improve posture, boost energy levels, and even increase calorie expenditure. So if you're ready to ditch the chair and embrace a more upright existence, consider giving a standing desk a try. Let's talk about meetings those necessary evils of the workplace that often feel like black holes for productivity and creativity. But what if we told you there's a way to make meetings more engaging, productive, and dare we say even enjoyable? Enter the walking meeting. They're simply about taking advantage of the fact that our brains tend to function better when our bodies are in motion. Suddenly, brainstorming sessions become more dynamic, ideas flow more freely, and even the most mundane topics seem a little more bearable.
Remember the days when recess was the highlight of your school day? Remember the sheer joy of running around with your friends, expending all that pent-up energy? Well, it turns out our adult brains crave that same sense of playfulness and movement, even if we've traded in our kickball games for spreadsheets and conference calls. Enter Miss Johnson, a fourth-grade teacher who decided to bring a little bit of recess into her classroom, with remarkable results. Miss Johnson, noticing that her students were becoming increasingly restless and disengaged after prolonged periods of sitting, decided to implement short movement breaks throughout the day. Every hour, she'd lead her students in a few minutes of stretching, dancing, or even just silly walks around the classroom. The impact was almost immediate. Her students returned to their desks feeling more energized, focused, and ready to learn.
Let's be honest, for many of us, flexible is that thing we tell our boss we are when they ask us to work late again. But for Sarah, it became a way of life, and it all started with a simple yoga class. Picture this: Sarah, a remote worker, living the dream in her pajamas, laptop perched precariously on a pile of pillows. While working from home offered freedom and flexibility, it also turned Sarah into a self-proclaimed couch potato extraordinaire. Her days were spent glued to her screen, her only movement the occasional shuffle from the couch to the fridge and back again. Starting with just 10 minutes a day, Sarah slowly but surely transformed her living room into her personal yoga studio. She found that the gentle stretches and mindful breathing not only eased her back pain, but also calmed her mind and boosted her energy levels.
Let's face it, going it alone can be tough, especially when it comes to making lifestyle changes. We've all been there, starting a new workout routine with the best of intentions, only to fall back into old habits after a few weeks. But what if the secret to staying motivated and accountable lies not in willpower alone, but in the power of community? Think about it. When we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals who share our goals and values, we're more likely to stay on track and achieve success. It's like having a built-in support system that cheers us on when we're feeling motivated and gently nudges us back on track when we start to waver. The good news is, finding your tribe of movers and shakers is easier than ever. From community walking groups to online fitness challenges, there are countless opportunities to connect with others who share your passion for a more active lifestyle. So ditch the "I'll do it tomorrow" mentality and join a group that resonates with you. You'll be amazed at the difference it makes when you have a team of cheerleaders in your corner.
From skeptic to success story, real people, real results. Okay, we've heard from the yoga enthusiasts and the walking group aficionados, but what about the skeptics among us? The ones who roll their eyes at the mere mention of lifestyle changes and think healthy living is just a fancy term for kale smoothies and early bedtimes. We hear you, but here's the thing. The beauty of incorporating more movement into your life is that it doesn't have to involve expensive gym memberships or complicated workout routines. It's about finding what works for you, what brings you joy, and what you can realistically sustain in the long run. Take it from Mark, a self-proclaimed gym hater who thought exercise was something other people did. Mark, tired of feeling winded after climbing a flight of stairs, decided to make a change. He started small, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, parking farther away from his office, and going for a walk during his lunch break. To his surprise, these small changes not only boosted his energy levels, but also improved his mood and helped him sleep better at night. Mark's transformation from skeptic to success story proves that it's not about finding time for exercise, it's about making time for movement in whatever way works best for you. Section 4. The ripple effect. How small changes can inspire big impact. We've journeyed through the ins and outs of a more active life, from the science-backed benefits to inspiring real-life transformations. But the true magic of embracing movement goes beyond our individual well-being. It creates a ripple effect that extends to our families, our communities, and even our planet. Think about it. When we prioritize our own health and well-being, we're setting a positive example for those around us. Our children see us making time for movement, and they learn that an active lifestyle is not a chore, but a celebration of what our bodies can do. Our communities benefit as we gather for walks, bike rides, and outdoor activities, fostering a sense of connection and shared purpose. And let's not forget the positive impact on our planet as we opt for sustainable modes of transportation and enjoy the great outdoors. It's a beautiful cycle of positive change, and it all starts with a single step, literally. Section 1. The time to move is now. So there you have it, folks. We've explored the sneaky ways sitting can mess with our bodies and minds, but the good news is we've also uncovered the surprisingly simple ways to fight back. It's not about becoming marathon runners overnight or morphing into those people who do squats with a smile on their face. Seriously, how do they do that? It's about making small, sustainable changes that add up to a healthier, happier you. Remember, your body is your ultimate wingman in this adventure called life. It deserves to be treated with respect, and that means giving it the gift of movement. It's not about punishing yourself for those late-night pizza binges or those Netflix marathons. We've all been there. It's about showing your body some love by simply getting it moving, even if it's just a little bit at a time. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The same applies to taking care of your health. Don't wait for a wake-up call in the form of a doctor's visit or a chronic health condition. Start today and watch as your body thanks you for it. Section 2. Your body's begging you. Just do it. You know that feeling when you've been sitting for hours and your body just feels blah? That's your body sending you an SOS signal, a desperate plea to get moving. And guess what? Ignoring those signals is like hitting the snooze button on your health. Sure, you can get away with it for a while, but eventually that alarm is going to go off, and it's not going to be pretty. But here's the good news. Your body is also incredibly forgiving. It's like that friend who's always willing to give you another chance, no matter how many times you've cancelled plans at the last minute. So, even if you've spent the past few years or decades living a mostly sedentary lifestyle, it's never too late to turn things around. The key is to start small and gradually increase your activity level over time. Think of it like learning a new language. You wouldn't expect to become fluent overnight, would you? The same goes for fitness. Start with short walks, gentle stretches, or even just dancing around your living room to your favorite tunes. Section 3. From small steps to giant leaps for your health, remember, this isn't about becoming an Olympian or a fitness model. Unless that's your thing, then go for it. It's about finding ways to make movement a natural and enjoyable part of your everyday life. It's about those little moments of movement that add up over time. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, walking to a colleague's desk instead of sending an email, dancing in the kitchen while you cook dinner. Think of it like this. Every step you take, every stretch you do, every dance move you bust out, it's all a deposit into your health bank account. And just like a regular bank account, the more deposits you make, the greater your returns will be. So, what are you waiting for? Get out there and start moving. Your body and your future self will thank you for it. Remember, this isn't a race, it's a journey. There will be days when you feel like conquering the world, and days when you'd rather just stay in your pajamas and watch reruns of your favorite sitcom. And that's okay. The important thing is to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Thank you for joining us as we explored the silent risks of sitting and how easily we can avoid them. Remember, every step counts, and moving more is the key to better health. We hope you're inspired to move more every day. What's your action plan to sit less? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more health tips and insights. Stay active and see you next time.